Hello and welcome back to my channel, Checks, Captures, Threats. In today's episode, in episode 36 of the Chess Guide, we'll be going over predicting moves. So, we've got the four openings here again. This time it's Queen's Gambit, Italian, French and Nimzo. But what we're mainly going over here is how we went over last time, we went over how to calculate, so how we can calculate what they're going to also do. And now this is all focusing on what they're going to play next. So, obviously, in this first example, let's just go through here. What we're trying to do here is when we're saying predicting moves, it kind of says it in the title. They're going to try and guess what they're going to play. So, how are we going to guess this? Now, the clue is here. It's my channel name, Checks, Captures, Threats. So we've gone over this before with how we can do it, but we can also do it to them as well. So, obviously we can see the checks, the captures and the threats, but for us. But let's see what they have. So obviously it's too early in the opening. There won't be any checks. If there is checks, they're not really good ones. Captures. Now, there's a few captures here black can do. The ones that here we're talking about are these two. So we'll go through it. So do we predict that they're going to do this capture? If they capture here, we're going to capture back. Is that all right? It gets rid of a pawn in the center for white, so it's quite good. Now, let's have a look at the other one here. And now this one, if we capture, they're going to now have to capture back with the bishop, and it takes it off the file again, so another good move. Now, just there, those are the top two moves on the in this position, so that's why capturing there, obviously we found out was good. And just to make sure, our last one is threats. We've obviously got a few threats of stuff like we could try and push this e5 pawn as black, but I think the main threat here is obviously pushing h6, I say, look at the wrong way, and obviously forcing the bishop back because it's being attacked. Again, that is the third top move in this position. So just using there, at the minute, in the opening, if you're looking at checks, captures, threats, don't look at checks too much unless it's such an open position. There's like, multiple. Just be careful about it because there can always be for white a check like this. You've always got to be careful of, so there's that. Okay. So, that was the Queen's Gambit. Now we're on to the Italian game. So, as black here, we have just castled, and there is a few moves here we can do as well as black. So, here we go. Obviously no checks. Captures. There's a few captures. So, we have a capture here. E takes d4. Now, what will happen if they take? We can take back as black, because obviously they can't capture. We capture their queen. So this is what we've got. This is a bit of a using of the P, putting pressure on the pin piece. So obviously this knight is putting lots of pressure now on this knight because it can't capture it, and soon it might fall short of double pawning, for example. So that wins a pawn in this scenario. So that's a very good move. Top move on the board there. Also, there's another capture here, capturing this knight. So if the knight captures again, it's simplifying the board. They say it's the second top move. I think that's just simplifying it. Maybe isn't the best because you have got rid of a good bishop. But again, it's another capture. And last but not least, threats. There's really only one threat on the board, I would say, as in attacking threat instead of capturing. And again, I would say it's h6, which is the third top move. So, here, what we can show is that predicting moves, most of the time, they will be doing something. A move will always correspond with something. You can never make a move that will do absolutely nothing. It might just protect a protected pawn already. It could be as little as that, but at least it does something. So, on to the third example now. So this is coming from the French Exchanged. So, here, again, we've moved to c6 here, a very dead even position, but some of the moves here, I'll let you have a few seconds this time because I've been showing you these last two examples. If you could find the top three moves in this position. Okay, hopefully you pause the video for that just to see. If you need more time, you can pause it now. So, the top move here, it's a bit of a weird one, so I would not expect you to got it, but I think there's a few reasons why. bishop to h4. Now the reason for this, in my opinion, is to stop this threat here of h6 already. You don't want that. You immediately have to go back and could be forced to trade bishops, and you can't really be attacked back here. So you can't have the pawn come up here, and this knight has a very good square onto e6. So, very difficult move. They're all about the same, these moves, so it's fine if you didn't get that one. Now another one, a very obvious move here, I would say most people should get, queen c2. Now, we've gone over this. This is a queen's-like position, you know, maybe even London position, you could say, because we've got that pretty much pyramid without this square there, the pawn. But we've got our bishop and queen, like the Queen's Gambit, looking at h7. So, again, I think that's quite a natural move for people. I'd also allow if you played something like b3. I think that's fine. You know, you're attacking, so it's a good threat to cause. And last but not least, if you said something like rook e1, because gaining a semi-open file immediately, that is key in this position like this. So, there is that. So again, I would say some other moves that you could have gone for, some honourable mentions here, would be c4, I would say. That's a very nice move, getting this bishop a bit more active and especially attacking the centre. And even if you want to go something as, obviously the engine won't say stuff like this, but a positional move sometimes can do some stuff here. So, hopefully you got that. Now again, this is a little bit more from the Nimzo, as we did this exchange here. Quite the classic, we know this position. A little bit further on into game, so for white here, again I'll give you a few seconds to find the top 3 moves in this position. Okay, so if you looked again at the checks, the captures and the threats, there is only one check, and obviously we'd lose the queen immediately, so we can immediately rule that out. Now, captures. So, the main capture I think we're looking at here, I think there is only one at the minute. Yes, so it's going to be this capture here. Now, this is good, because after we capture back, we've isolated this pawn, so now that comes level with this pawn, and I think this pawn push next is inbound for white. That is the top move, so if you did see the capture, well done. Also, a few other moves, I would say there's multiple here. c4. This would be a move I would play in my opinion, because after this, you know, if you capture, your queen's obviously better. And also this opens the bishop up into a nice position here, maybe having a look at this sort of line. And then last but not least, if you want to get your queen active a bit more, then, and you wanted to go very aggressive, even the move queen to b5. Now the reason for this is this limits the other queen to forcefully play this. Otherwise, if you ran away with the knight, you would lose this pawn. So, here is that. If you wanted any other moves, it'd be very difficult. I guess you could move a rook in this position. It's a little bit, the only thing I would say about that is this move, you limit your queen. So that's why I think you've got to do a move to counter that. So that is it for today's video. Hopefully you understand now how that is the 3 videos of candidate moves, how to calculate and predicting moves, as that little group where we was able to find out how now we're able to understand what the opponent can do while we can do our plan as well. And hopefully, if we haven't got the best plan, we can counter their plan. So, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. So thank you and bye-bye.